Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. On today's episode, I wanted to go ahead and react to Sheikh Uthman on the Dean Show, reacting to Charlie Kirk. Now, if you know who Charlie Kirk is, I'm sure you know who he is. If you're somebody who has been keeping up with the political scene and trying to figure out what's going on, whether that's your local news or geopolitics, I'm sure you know who Charlie Kirk is. So recently, this brother over here decided to call out Charlie Kirk. And before I play the video, I just want to go ahead and let you guys know I'm not a big fan of Charlie Kirk. Okay? I don't like the man. Now, the reason I don't like him is not because of his personality. I can care less about his personality, but rather it's the idea that he holds. He pretends that he is such a big patriot when it comes to America. He pretends that he is only for the American people. Simultaneously, he is a big, staunch Zionist supporter. And I'm gonna tell you this: you can't have both. You can't be a supporter of America and support Zionism. You just can't. And the reason I say that, it's because the American people are having a hard time living. The American people are having a hard time feeding themselves, being able to afford the basic means of living. The American people are having a hard time doing that. And yet, our government, our president, they are piling trillions of dollars and sending it to another state, right, that has free healthcare, free schools. And then they're blowing up people with the money that we could use here in America to better our lives. Charlie Kirk is a staunch supporter of the people who are sending those money over. And that's why I don't like the guy. Because you have to be sleeping under a rock to pretend that whatever is going on in the Middle East is justified. You have to be sleeping under a rock. And you can't tell me that Charlie Kirk doesn't know. He knows. He is a big, political commentator who speaks out when it comes to Zionism. I'm sure you've seen a lot of his colleges interviews and stuff like that when people come up to him and then ask him questions. A lot of those clips flowing around, and people are telling them like, yo, why are you such a big supporter of Zionism when these are all the stuff that they've done? They have hurt America. They are behind the assassination of JFK. They are behind the 9/11. They are behind the, blackmailing of politicians. And yet you are sitting here and saying that, well, I'm a big supporter. That's the political scene. Now, if you want to go into the religious aspect of it, they believe that Jesus is burning in human feces. Let me go ahead and that's what they believe. They believe that human beings are that Jesus is burning in human feces. They disrespect Christians. The only church in Gaza that has been standing in Gaza for hundreds of years, they blew that up, killing 3 Christians. And you, Charlie Kirk, is still supporting these people. Why? Why are you still supporting them? You want to know why? Because you have a hatred for Muslim. And that was their idea from the beginning. That's what they wanted from the beginning. As long as you, the American people, hate Muslim, they are justified to keep blowing up the Palestinians. As long as you, as Americans, hate the Muslim, they are justified to name the Muslim anything that they want, so that way you can continue supporting them. And so, I just want to go ahead and give you guys that little 4-minute talk. Now, let's let Brother Sheikh over here, Uthman bin Farouk, let him explain to you his idea.
Man, there's a lot going on. I want to start off with this is a conservative Christian, and he's making some statements, and I've invited him to a dialogue to discuss with us, and hopefully that possibly can come to a fruition with him. But I want to hear him, and then we can kind of break down what he's talking about.
Ready when you are.
Yeah.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are 3 major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion, and Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is, I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality of life?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, from prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will...
Before I continue real quick, just from the top of my head, I can already name you some of the stuff that if Americans were to implement it, their lives will be so much better. Number one, I'm not going to list all of them because I don't want this video to be long. But number one, interest. Get rid of interest. And I promise you, things will be so much better. Interest is haram in Islam. Interest is haram in Christianity. The only people who are dealing in interest are the Jews. And guess what? They understand the dangers of interest so much that among themselves, they're not allowed to deal interest among themselves, but rather they're allowed to deal interest on the people who are not Jews. That's the dangers of interest. So that's just number one right off the bat. And then we got gambling, and then we got alcohol. I can go on and on and on and on. Islam forbid all of these things that can make the Americans' life so much 100 times better. But instead, you have this shell over here who is pretending to be for America, simultaneously telling people that, hey, you need to support the group of people that are making your life hard. Now, you make sense out of that.
So there are...
A lot to package there. You're laughing right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a comedy show, that's why.
Comedy show.
Yeah, well, first thing, so let's talk about it, right? Macro and micro Islam, right? So if you talk about...
He's making up a term here, macro
Yeah, it is,
Islam.
but I get it.
Yeah.
So micro being when there's small populations of Muslims, macro being when they're larger, right? I get that. So when you look at macro Islam, for example, the Roman Empire, right? If you look at Roman Empire, it was very heavily Christian, right? And, you know, it was called the Holy Roman Empire and so on. And they had many victories, and then they had their downfall. So you have ups and downs in those kinds of societies. At the same time, when you look at Indonesia, Malaysia, and all these countries where Islam became the dominant religion, well, Malaysia is a beautiful, functioning, macro-Islam society where Christians and non-Muslims and Muslims live peacefully. I've been to Malaysia. It's a beautiful country. Salam out to all my Malaysian brothers and sisters. Terima kasih. And, you know, we did a tour there. And I saw churches, I saw mosques, I saw Hindus with temples, I saw no any friction between the different religions living there. In fact, I saw a society that was more at peace than what I saw when I visited India, for example, a majority non-Muslim country where the tensions between Christians and Sikhs and Hindus and Christians and Muslims and Hindus are always on the rise. So what he's talking about is not based on any kind of facts. It's not based on any kind of, that's what he said. Even when the interviewer said on what matrix, he didn't actually give any metrics. No.
Yeah, and the reason he doesn't do that is because, like I said from the beginning, right? They want you to hate Islam. They want you to have the worst assumption about Islam. They want you to believe that Islam is incompatible with every other religion. Islam is a barbaric religion that is not supposed to be on the planet Earth altogether. And like I said, the people who he supports want exact that idea to be flowing around because those people are surrounded by Muslims. And you, the American people, you are supporting these people. And as long as you hate Muslim, you will continue to support giving them your money so that way they can continue dropping bombs on Muslim. That's the whole idea behind that. If you sit Charlie Kirk down and you actually break down Islam, all his belief that he has about Islam, all the nonsense that he has concocted in his head, you sit him down and you say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right, this is right, this is that, this is that. This dude is still gonna turn around and still hate on Islam because he understands who pays the bill. He understands that the people who give him money have a certain idea about Islam, and he understands that he needs to continue spreading that false information about Islam so they can keep giving him money. He's not genuine. He's a hypocrite, and he's not genuine, and nobody should take him serious.
No actual statistics or numbers. So macro Muslim societies, let's say Muslim majority societies, let's look at, for example, Qatar. I've been to Qatar, I've been to the UAE, I've been to Kuwait, I've been to Saudi Arabia. Beautiful societies. I mean, there is peace. It's much safer than the US. It's much safer than the UK. It's much safer than most of Europe. You can walk the streets at night and not be worried. The economies are doing much better than ours are doing. I mean, if you look at what's going on in US politics, and you look at Trump, and you look at all the nonsense that's going back between the left and right and race riots in LA, you're telling me we're doing off better? I mean, come on, right? That's childish. And I'll call something out right now. What's his name? What's this guy's
Charlie
name?
Kirk.
Charlie Kirk. I don't know who you are. Not that I care. But I'll debate you anytime, anywhere. If you're a man, and if you believe in what you're saying, give me a time and place. Right now, I'm calling you out, right?
He's not going to accept it because his whole idea of what he believes about Islam would just crumble right in front of him, and he will have no leg to stand on anymore. And he won't have any hatred to spew on his channel about Islam anymore. So he's not going to accept it, ever. And if he does, round of applause.
Stats. Not just opinions, bring numbers. Go to hospitals and go check your doctors and how many of them are Muslims. How many Dr. Khans do you have? How many Dr. Muhammads do you have? How many Dr. Abdullahs do you have? So many of your doctors right now improving your healthcare system, treating you and your medications are Muslims. How many of your engineers are Muslims? How many entrepreneurs are Muslims? We are part of the society and we have benefited the society and we continue to do so. And if you look at societies where they talk about freedom of speech, that's another thing he spoke about, right? What were his 3 points? Let's take them out.
All right, so we got macro.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. I'm going to leave the link in the bottom so that way you can go watch the rest of the video for yourself. But I highly recommend for you to go watch the entire video. It's very informative, and these guys break down a lot of the nonsense that is out there. And so, yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and share this with you guys. And if you made it this far, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys up later.